Ever wondered how some students learn more in less time? It's not discipline, it's psychology. Let's be real for a second. How many times have you pulled an all-nighter, spent hours memorizing stuff, only for it to feel like it's gone the next day? Meanwhile, some people seem to study for way less time and remember everything. What gives? Well, it turns out it's not about the time you spend, it's about how your brain works. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what's going on in your brain when you study, and how you can use it to learn faster and retain more. Here's the deal. Imagine studying for half the time but actually remembering more. You won't have to stay up until 3 a.m. every night, frantically reading the same page over and over, wondering if anything is sticking. Instead, you'll actually be able to recall information when you need it, not just the day after you studied it. The best part? You'll get more out of your study sessions, even if they're shorter. Sounds pretty sweet, right? Well, keep watching, and I'll explain how it works. Now, let's dive into what's going on in your brain. If you're like most students, you probably rely on some of the traditional methods of studying, things like rereading your notes or highlighting important passages. You might even spend hours just looking over the material, hoping it'll stick. But here's the thing, this is where you're going wrong. Your brain isn't great at remembering things just because you keep seeing them over and over. It's not a matter of exposure, it's a matter of effort. The real trick to learning efficiently is active recall. Active recall is when you force your brain to pull information out of memory, not just passively review it. This is a crucial step in how memory works. Instead of staring at your notes or books, you should test yourself on the material. Why? Because when you try to recall something, even if you don't get it right the first time, you're creating stronger neural connections. These connections make it easier for your brain to retain and recall the information later on. Here's the issue with rereading or over-highlighting. It feels like you're doing something productive, but your brain isn't being challenged enough. You're not engaging it in a way that helps build a solid memory. Your brain learns when it's forced to recall, not when it's just passively reviewing. Alright, now that you understand why active recall is important, let's talk about how you can actually put this into practice. Don't worry, I'm not going to make it complicated or time-consuming. Here's a simple step-by-step guide that will have your brain working smarter, not harder. Step 1. After you finish studying, immediately test yourself. It can be through flashcards, writing out everything you remember on a blank sheet of paper, or answering a few questions about the material. The key is that you're not just looking over it again, you're actively retrieving it from memory. Step 2, spend about 5 minutes doing this. That's it. 5 minutes is all you need. You don't have to do a full-length study session right after studying. It's about getting your brain to start locking in that information. Step 3, do this right after you study, not the next day. The reason is that your brain is freshest right after learning something. If you wait too long, the material might fade before you've had a chance to test yourself. I know, you might be thinking, 5 minutes? That's it? Yes, it's all about quality, not quantity. If you try to push too hard, you'll just overwhelm your brain. But with this quick test, you're helping your brain connect the dots without overloading it. You might be wondering, why is this so effective? Well, it's all based on neuroscience. Your brain learns best through active engagement. This is exactly what happens when you're retrieving information from your memory, instead of just passively seeing it. Every time you test yourself, your brain strengthens the connection between the information you're trying to remember and the neurons responsible for it. This is similar to muscle building. You don't get stronger by watching someone else lift weights. You get stronger by doing the work yourself. The same goes for memory. You need to engage the information by recalling it, and over time, it will stick. And remember, don't be afraid if you don't get everything right on the first try. The brain learns better when it's actively challenged. So when you miss something, don't stress. It's just your brain doing its job. Now, let's add an extra layer to this: spaced repetition. This is a technique where you revisit the information you tested yourself on at increasing intervals. So, for example, after you test yourself right after studying, you would go back to it again a few hours later, then the next day, then a few days after that. This spaced-out review reinforces your memory and makes sure the information sticks for the long term. You can use flashcards or apps like Anki to help you with this spaced repetition technique. It's a great way to build long-term retention with minimal effort. So pair active recall with spaced repetition and you'll see a huge boost in how much you retain. Got any questions about how to make this method work for your study routine? Drop them in the comments. I read and reply to every one of them. Let's talk about how you can tweak this to fit your style, and if something's unclear, I'll break it down for you. So there you have it. You don't need more study hours, you just need to understand how your brain learns. Study smarter, not harder, and watch your efficiency skyrocket. We're all in this together, figuring out the best ways to learn and grow. I'll see you in the next one. Good luck with your studies.